Good evening, everyone. The time here is 9 o'clock in the evening, which is Wednesday. Uh, Wednesday, July 8th. Now, this is the update of the price of gold today in the world market. The price of gold on the world market today is 1,800, 1,803.28 in dollar terms. Multiply that 1,803.12 times 32.15. This is the price of gold today, the spot price on the world market. Now, good evening, by the way. I would like to greet everyone a pleasant good evening. Greeting from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Good morning to you guys, whenever you are, whether you are in Dubai or in India or in Europe. If you are in Asia, it's evening. The reason why I'm live, I just finished having a conference. Wilhelmina is an extension digital online office. The head office is in Conakry, the head office in Sierra Leone, the head office in Mali. I'm the one who handle sales and marketing on behalf of the seller. Now, probably you guys, you've been floating around online. You are so excited and you don't pay attention reading. You don't pay attention watching the video explanation. I was in Africa before the coronavirus lockdown, and my transaction has been successful. Now, I was the one who brought this digital online store in order for the buyer to see directly on his lounge room or directly into his computer. So we are now on the social media. Social media is the fast-growing industry in the world. Internet, you can find any supply on the internet. Recently, I placed an order. I purchased the air cleaner, air wax cleaner, and I have not seen the products, and I paid cash. I sent money to America. I placed an order to earwax cleaner, and I saw it on advertisement on Facebook. I paid cash $50, right? And it arrives on my doorstep within 9 working days, sometimes 10 days. I'm just giving you an example. And I'm not scared. And I saw that advertisement on Facebook flashing, and there's how to clean your ear, to remove the earwax. Now we are now modern. I purchased it, but I was not scared. But you guys, you watch my video. I put the full corporate offer already. I explain it very extensively, but still you are not paying attention. Now, Mr. Buyer, we are not a fly-by-night business. We are real business. Wilhelmina is the one who will validate you. Wilhelmina will be the one to screen you, whether you are a buyer or not. You must remember, Mr. Buyer, you've been floating around, dealing from broker to broker, and gold is the world asset you're buying. You're buying money to make money. Now, because of the pandemic, the world is really, really scared. The world is on panic. Because gold is a business, real business, gold is a collateral, and gold is an asset versus your paper money. Now, Mr. Buyer, may I educate you properly? 98% of gold coming from Africa. Do not misunderstand Africa. 50% of diamond produced in Africa. Do not misunderstand this country. They are the main source of supply to the world. Why Australian mining company? It's in Mali. It's in Conakry, Guinea. It's in Ghana. It's in Sierra Leone. Russian mining company. Why they are there? Why Chinese are there? They're big time company. And you, as a small trader, you want to buy because you want to get the profit. Yes, you will get the profit if you have cash. This is not letter of credit. This is not SBLC. This is cash business. If you're asking for LC or CIF, meaning to say you are a fly-by-night buyer. You're a fly-by-night small trader. You want to earn money, but you don't want to put money. How could you get money if you don't have the money? Gold is money. Now, few hours ago, I had a long conversation with a buyer from India. He sent his business registration, his importation license, and we accept his order. But he knew that the gold is not for credit, and he knew that gold is FOB cash bank to bank. And when he received the contract and the letter of acceptance, his order of 10 kilos, we give him $50,000 per kilo, so therefore it's $500,000. But because of the coronavirus, we allow the buyer not to travel because commercial flight is not open. The border is closed. So out of 10 kilos, we allow you, Mr. Buyer, I'm not going to mention his name. He's an Indian buyer. Out of 10 kilos, we allow the buyer to pay the 5 kilos. And the balance of 5 kilos would be paid within 14 days. Why? That 5 kilos, we are going to remit that to the government, the sales tax. When you buy precious item, there is always sales tax. Plus the price plus tax. Now, when you bring that to your country, there is also importation tax. Now, you are buying precious item. There's always value added tax. There's always an export documentation. There is always a testing. You have to taste the gold to the local refinery. And there is a cost of $100 per kilo. And you're asking LC, you're asking SBLC, meaning to say you are really, really in disaster. Meaning to say you are going to use the gold to borrow money in the bank. The bank will not release money to you, Mr. Buyer, if you're using LC. You're going to use BGs. So you're going to use the other financer in order to borrow money. Gold is money. So why are you asking BGs? So why not start a trial? That is why we offer start a trial 10 kilos and then increase that next shipment. We don't know you, so you have to build your credibility to us. And if you are hesitant to trust us, therefore we are also hesitant to trust you. Why are we going to give you our product not knowing who you are? So you have to build your credential whether you really satisfied with us. So that is the reason why Wilhelmina put everything online. The full corporate offer, I put that very extensively. But you, the buyer or brokers, don't be excited because I'm not excited at all. I'm not. I'm putting everything so that the real buyer can see who is the transparent seller. We are transparent. Conakry, Sierra Leone, Mali. Mr. Buyer, if you're watching me, you don't need to be excited. Take time. Take time to read the full corporate offer. Take time to view on Diamond, video to video. Now, Wilhelmina was the one who brought this. Instead of floating around and running around from broker to broker, the video on Diamond, it's very clear. There is a fancy color. There is a white stone. We have plenty provided you are real buyer. Now, Mr. Buyer, after you watch this video, click below. On one page, right, there is a full corporate offer. Every video, I always put the full corporate offer in order for you to read, in order for you to digest. Now, okay. So I have so many people buzzing me on Skype and on WhatsApp. On my screen, I can see 15 of them wanted to buy gold, but they're asking is BLC. Reject, reject, reject. So, Mr. Buyer, I'm gonna summarize. When you watch this video, this beautiful lady in front of you, you don't need to be excited. You don't need to be scared. No one will steal your money. You will be duped if you are not paying attention. This business is a very tricky business. We only deal buyer that have this. We only deal buyer that have the capacity to pay. Now, Mr. Buyer, you are dealing direct to the point. You are dealing direct to the main supplier. Wilhelmina is the one who brought this information. This is my online office. I work for the seller. I'm the one who will validate you. So don't be scared. Don't be allergic of me because I am helping you to get this supply. There's a saying, supply and demand determine the price. Now, Mr. Buyer, do you understand what this gold is all about? The golden rules is like this. He who has the gold makes the rules. So the government is making the rules. So therefore, you have to follow the government rules. Meaning to say, you place your order, introduce who you are, where you're coming from, your name, address, your business registration, your importation license, and your passport copy, and your proof of fund bank statement after you read the full corporate offer very extensively. And you watch this video, I am very transparent. My seller is very transparent. I'm the one who will determine which seller I'm going to put you. Either I'm going to put you in Sierra Leone, either I'm going to put you in Conakry or in Mali. I'm the one who will determine after I receive your letter of intent. Letter of intent means letter of intent to purchase, called LOI. Now, there was a buyer says, fake buyers, that he would not send LOI. Don't. If you don't, therefore you are not a buyer. So you are floating. So you are fly-by-night buyer then. Because we don't deal fly-by-night business buyer. So you are a fake buyer if you don't introduce yourself. So therefore, Mr. Buyer, I hope you understand what I'm saying. We don't deal fake buyer. My seller is real. My seller has been in gold business for many years. And you are just new in this business. You're floating around. Yes, Facebook is an advertisement site. There's a lot of buyer floating around, window shopping, looking, who is the best seller, and comparing the price. Who is going to give that buyer cheap price? Now, Mr. Buyer, the price of gold today is 57,700 per kilo on the world market is spot price. Now, we're giving you less 5%. Now, on every video, I already explained it. 5% on the world market is spot price. Now, you go on gold rate on Conakry, you will see the price. Go on Sierra Leone, gold rate Sierra Leone, you will see the price. Go on Mali, gold rate, you will see the price. And go on the world market, www.goldprice.org, that is the price. Now, don't confuse yourself, Mr. Buyer. That 57,700, it's already refined. Now, you are buying unrefined. Don't confuse it. Because my page is huge. There is a video on how to refine. Then you will understand. I don't need to teach you, and I don't need to educate you. You come when you're ready. Because you're a businessman. You're a trader. You know what you're buying. Your customer is a refinery. Your customer is a jewelry manufacturer. We are a wholesaler. You are a trader. You buy from us. Then you trade it. It's up to you. So our selling price less 5%. However, Last year and this year before lockdown, I went to Conakry and I went to Sierra Leone. I brought the buyer with me. I do charge my extra service when I travel with the buyer in order for me to assist the buyer. And when I'm on the ground, I ask the seller to give the buyer a very good price if I would be on the ground. But if I am not on the ground, my seller would not give you a very good deal. Why? This is money you're buying. And this is fair. This is business, right? This is business. You want a profit? The seller also want a profit margin. Yeah, my seller is paying my work. I only charge you my extra when I travel with you. But if you don't want to pay extra, it's fine. You just send me your business registration, your importation license, your passport copy, and the proof of fund, your bank statement, that you are really serious buyer. Then we will arrange your contract. We will send you the landing visa as a company guest. Yes? Then you come to the head office. But if there is an issue, don't come back to Alamina because I'm too far. But if I am there on the ground with you, if there is an issue, it's easy for me to solve the issue. It is easy. I have a transaction successful already. I took the buyer. The buyer is happy. I can assure you, I can guarantee you, you will not be duped. But if you're window shopping asking for cheap price, there was an offer 35,000, there's an offer 38, go for it. That is how to trap you. You have no idea. The seller didn't tell you that there is a lot of charges. There is a value added tax. You have to pay the shipping cost. You have to pay the assay cost of $100 per kilo. Then you have to insure the gold. To us, our selling price is premium, but tax inclusive. So which one you like, Mr. Buyer? You don't have any headache because everything is inclusive, but our price is spot price. Now, as I've said to you, because we are on the coronavirus, I can give you 8%. Yes? There is a prediction before end of 2020. We are now half year. There's a prediction that the gold turned to 1,950 per ounce. Multiply that to 32.15. This could be the price entering 2021. Now, Mr. Buyer, if you don't have money, and then you're asking for CIF and LC and SBLC or Block Fund, to me, you're not a buyer. You're a fly-by-night buyer. Yeah, you are. Africa is a huge continent. Do not misunderstood or do not underestimate Africa. Do not. 98% of gold produced in Ghana, produced in Tanzania, Conakry, Mali, Sierra Leone, but I only handle Sierra Leone, Conakry, and Mali. Used to be I handle Ghana. I terminate my seller. Ghana is a short supply. Most of the gold coming from different border to border. Yeah? And they smuggled into Ghana. But I'm telling you, you will never get gold in Ghana if you don't have this. Some refinery in Ghana, there are 14 refineries in Ghana. They are buying gold from different continent of Africa. Buy direct to us, Mr. Buyer. My seller is the one who produced gold. Talk to Wilhelmina. Be honest to yourself. Don't muck around. The more you muck around, the more you will fail. Few hours ago, I have an Indian buyer. And he sent his business registration and importation license. He's a real buyer, but he's a very tricky buyer. And he knew that our policy is FOB. This is not credit. This is not CIF. So when he received the contract, he agreed in the beginning. That's why he sent his business registration and importation license, etc. When he received the contract and we acknowledged and attached my seller's mining license, he changed it. He wanted us to bring gold in India for not putting single cents. And I told this buyer, you're buying money to make money, you must remember. And if you have no money, how could you perform? And your registration is only a piece of paper. And he cannot show his proof of fund, his bank statement. He wanted us to bring gold in India. I said, no. To bring gold in India, you have to pay the importation tax. Yeah, he has an importation license. He's an exporter, but he's a very tricky Indian. So I have a long conversation. While I have a long conversation with him, my seller is watching private video conversation. So I turn it down. Now he's keep on coming and begging, and I told him, you're a beggar. You should not beg, because gold is not for beggar. Yeah? So I rejected. His contract is failed. And I told this buyer of mine, at least you know who we are. And the video is very, very clear. I put him on Mineral Consulting Group of Company. And I told him, what's the video? Who is the Mineral Consulting Group of Company? And then what's the video on Sierra Leone? Right. Who is the seller? Azil Mining Company. Right. And Leon Mining Company. Yeah. And this buyer is very tricky. Indian is a very tricky buyer. How many Indians I've given them the opportunity to secure? At the end, when they receive the contract, they change it. And I told my buyer, okay, you can talk to my seller. You already had the information. Talk to them. Tell them that you're talking to Wilhelmina. You want credit. My seller will laugh at you. And my seller watching me on my live private video. You know, my head office said, thank you, madam. People, buyers think that Africa, they can get gold in Africa for nothing. No, you wouldn't. Why my transaction successful when I was there? Mr. Buyer, if you cannot afford to pay what you're buying, please don't bother. Stay away in your country. Whatever is your business, stay focused on your business. But if you want to enter into buying gold, we welcome you, but make sure you have the money, because this is not for credit. And if you have a buyer buying gold from you, that's good. You lay out first the capital, then you resell it, because we're going to give you a very good price. Yeah, the price of gold today is almost 58. And this Indian that we send a contract, we give him $50,000 per kilo, tax inclusive. Right. We waive the shipping cost. Because of coronavirus, we required him to pay the 5 kilos out of 10. We encourage to start 10 kilos. Then after the commercial flight will be open on the air, then our price change. We would like to encourage the buyer to travel to build your credential to our head office. Don't sit down in your ass, Mr. Buyer, thinking that gold will come to you. Gold will not come to you. Get out from your chair. Travel with Wilhelmina, and I can assure you, I can guarantee you, you will not fail. But if you just sit down in your ass in your chair, thinking that the gold will come to you, I doubt. You will never get gold. You're gonna be frustrated. And then you're floating around from broker to broker. Please don't deceive this online broker, because you are paying the online broker, right? And you are just faking yourself. So to me, if you cannot produce who you are, and you cannot introduce who you are, to me, you're a fly-by-night businessman. There's so many people doesn't like my guts. Why should you dislike me, Mr. Buyer? You're buying money to make money. And we need to be tough. I have to be tough, because my seller also been deceived before. My seller lost gold before, 450 kilos last year. Yes, and my seller lost diamond as well. So both buyers and seller, that is the reason why I brought this online. You meet Wilhelmina. Why are you going to be scared with Wilhelmina, Mr. Buyer? Why? Meaning to say you have an agenda. We don't have any agenda. You travel with Wilhelmina, inspect the gold in the office, you bring your gold tester if you want, Then if you're happy, then we will bring that to the refinery to taste. There is $100 per kilo. You will be charged $100 per kilo. Yeah? So this is business. So if you're gonna buy gold from us, I might ask my seller to waive the $100 per kilo. But if I'm not around, yeah, you have to pay the asset cost at the refinery, local refinery. Either DNGM in Mali, $100. Either in the Central Bank of Conakry, $100 per kilo. Either you're gonna bring gold to Sierra Leone, you buy Sierra Leone, GGO, $100 per kilo. So if you don't have the money, how are you able to pay? So do not travel, Mr. Buyer, if you don't have cash. Do not. I discourage you not to travel. If you cannot afford to pay, please stay away. It's better stay away. We only deal buyer that can afford to pay. That is why we encourage the buyer start a trial, because you don't know us and we don't know you. You know Wilhelmina in front of you in your screen, but on the real sense, we don't know you. So, Mr. Buyer, if you come for conference, I would like to request from you, open your camera. We are now on the social media. Don't you know that American business people, they are dealing with Zoom conference? Well, Amina is having a conference with you live. So you have to open your camera in order for me to feel comfortable whether you're a buyer or not. You never know you are a scrupulous buyer. You never know. So when you read the full corporate offer, Mr. Buyer, put this into your brain. Am I really a buyer? Am I capable to pay? So that is the reason why you start a trial. Yes? Because of coronavirus, 10 kilos, you pay 5 kilos. Then the balance you pay after 14 days. But we will put that on the contract, that we will allow you to send the gold to you. You pay the 5 kilos as your down payment. First of all, we'll do the contract, confirm and sign the contract, sealed, sign you and my seller, and I countersign that you agree on the contract. Now, the seller will assay the gold on 10 kilos. After the assay, we will send you the copy of the assay report. Once you see the assay report, then you transfer the payment bank to bank. Don't be scared, because I can assure you my seller is real. I can assure you 100%. So that is the reason why I want you to come for conference, so that you can ask question. Then I will give you the answer privately. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? I think I already explained it video to video. Every video I have full corporate offer and link. If you are looking for rough diamond, there is a link. Click it. Take time. Don't rush. The more you rush, the more I don't believe it. I want you to take time. I know you've been window shopping from broker to broker. That is fine. There's so many offer. That's fine. You can compare it. Then when you feel comfortable, you come back to Wilhelmina. Believe me, I can assure you, you found the right seller. Who is the person can show her face? Who is the person can show the video that Wilhelmina was in Africa? Nothing. Most of those brokers or sellers, they don't even show their faces. Yeah? Look at their profile, Mr. Buyer. You see Wilhelmina, picture to picture, video to video, meaning to say, I work for the company that who produce gold. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? I think I already explained it to you. Take time, Mr. Buyer. Don't wait for too long. Last year, I warned on my video that 2020, the price of gold will turn to 55. Last year was 45, then increased to 40, 48, then 50, then 52, then 53, then 55, then 57. Today, it's almost 58. So you think about it, Mr. Buyer. And if you're asking for CIF or SBL said to me, you're a bigger. My seller is not a bigger. He owned the concession. Why he gonna big to you? We are here to tell the world that we have the supply. Yeah, you have the paper money. Yeah. Do you think you have a paper money? Show it to me. And we will show you the gold when you come to the country of destination. Wilhelmina will determine which seller I'm going to put you. Right? After I receive your letter of intention to purchase, coming from you, it's not cut and paste. I don't believe on cut and paste. Most of the LOI from broker to broker, they cut and paste. I want the real letter of intent to purchase coming from the buyer because I'm going to scrutinize you. I am. When I feel comfortable that you are really a buyer, then that is the time I will send your letter of intent to the head office. Let us proceed this order and the seller will send you the contract. We don't send SPA, blank SPA. We don't. We don't solicit SPA. Most of the broker, they send me SPA blank. I don't. I put that on the wheelie bin. The SPA will be sent to you, complete information of the seller after I receive your letter of intent. Because I'm going to send it to the head office. This is the buyer, address, email, telephone number, the passport copy, the proof of fund, bank statement. I will send it to the head office to prove that you meet the criteria, to prove that Wilhelmina advised the seller to proceed. But if you cannot show it, I will not advise my seller to proceed at all. None whatsoever. Now, Mr. Buyer, because we are coronavirus, if you are on the ground, stranded, you want to buy gold, same. Show me your passport copy. Show me your business registration. Show me your proof of fund. I will arrange to meet you in the office, provided you show me three things. If you are in Sierra Leone, if you are in Conakry and you're Mali, show me your business registration that you are really a buyer, that you are on the ground. Show me your proof of fund that you are on the ground right now because you have been trapped. I know, okay? And your passport copy. We don't meet you. You come to Wilhelmina's conference. Then I will organize. I will ask my seller, there's a buyer. I already interviewed this buyer. Let us proceed. And please, then I will give you the number of my seller. And I will ask my seller to visit you, and I will ask my driver to come and see you. Then he will take you to the office. Don't be scared, because I know. I've been in the head office, so don't be scared. The more you be scared, the more it's a red flag to Wilhelmina. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? So I think I already explained to you, Mr. Buyer. Once again, when you watch this video, there's a full corporate offer. There's a link. Mali, Conakry, Sierra Leone. It's up to you to make a decision. Take time. I am not pressuring you. I'm not pressuring you to buy. It's up to you to make a decision on your final destination. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening. And good morning to you or good afternoon to you whenever you are.